Good morning and welcome to Nicole Sauce's Thought of the Walk. Today's a big day. I'll be doing a live stream of my podcast, sharing my word of the year for 2022. By the time you see this, it's already at livingfreeintennessee.com. It is almost time for the mailing deadline where we can get presents to people in time for Christmas. That's almost past. And I'm tired. It's kind of funny. I'm tired every year, but I'm looking at the finances and analyzing how much work goes into producing coffee and shipping it, and what that means for the top line and the bottom line, and just learning, what does it look like to be at the next level in my business? And what it looks like is more automation and becoming even more efficient. This year we're about twice as efficient as last year in getting orders out. We've made some mistakes and shipped some orders twice because we didn't grind them, or put one bag in instead of two, and people let us know. So thanks for letting us know. We'll get you, if we do that, just let us know. I mean, I've never really had a customer that I know of that lied about that. So some of those things have happened in our process because as you grow, you bring in help and you train the help and they help you. And sometimes the little number on the little packing slip is really tiny and you don't see it. And, it's kind of fun working with people. And I want to talk about that because today I was kind of thinking, I looked at a statistic that bosses are not firing people anymore. And it's because there's this labor shortage, and it's a great market for people who have jobs and want to upgrade, because it's really hard to find good people to work for you. And people are taking jobs and not showing up. Excuse me, as usual. I need to yell at my dogs. Sissy, come here! This is the CC remote control where I go boop, and then her collar vibrates and she comes back. Anyway, people are switching up. They're leaving if it's not a good fit. They're asking for more money and getting it. People aren't sure, how to keep employees happy. Some are going off and starting their own thing. And you know what? All of that's good. A lot of people are complaining about it, but if you think about it, it's good to be in a place of negotiation as an employee. And if you're the right kind of employer, you're not having this problem as much, right? And I got to thinking, what if I went back to working for somebody? What would I be looking for right now? Because people are blaming unemployment benefits and all sorts of stuff. Wow, this is like the backlighting. I have angel complex. I'm getting a halo from the sun on that side. But what if I was to go back and work for somebody? Would I want the kind of boss that won't fire people? Or do I want a boss who will? And the answer is the second one. Here's why. If you are a boss in this situation, afraid to fire bad employees, what you don't realize is the good employees you have left are pulling up their slack, or what you're not acknowledging. You may realize it. They're pulling up their slack. And it's not unusual when you get rid of the folks who aren't performing, aren't very good at what they do, don't like to work, or whatever the deal is. What you don't realize is sometimes getting rid of them makes the job easier for the people pulling up the slack. Yeah, it's really an interesting thing, I think, when you realize how hard it is to have to deal with the person who's not doing their job and then also do their job. When you no longer have to deal with that person and you just have to do their job, your job is easier as the person pulling up the slack. And so when you become the kind of boss who doesn't fire bad people, what you're doing is you're leaving a cancer there that spreads bad habits of non-production or non-work to other employees because they become demoralized. They're doing the hard work and getting paid. This person's not doing any work and getting paid. So the kind of boss I want fires you. Fires you if you're not doing what you should be doing. They don't mess around. They're not unclear. They just fire you. And I've been a boss. I've been both kinds of bosses. I've been really understanding where we establish a remedy plan when somebody's not very good at what they do or making mistakes, and we track it, and then we fire them. And it took 3 or 4 or 5 months. And then I've also had ones where I'm like, I just got to let this person go, and I let him go. When I did the second thing, I got way better results than when I gave people a chance under the understanding that maybe we weren't clear about their job duties, about what we expected for them to be successful at our company. And that's been a hard lesson, because what I learned during that time is when I give people a chance like that and we go through all the proper documentation, I've never had one actually follow through and make it. What I've had is a bunch of other employees who are super frustrated and leave. So then I'm losing my good people and keeping the less productive people. It's not good. From a boss's standpoint, you don't want to be that. From a coworker standpoint, you don't want to deal with that. So if you're in a position where you're an employee and you work your butt off, and right now you can get any job you want, find the boss that fires the people who aren't good. Find the boss who does not engage in drama. Find the boss who's clear about expectations and not afraid to tell you, you know what? I appreciate how you put that coffee in the bag, but this is how I want you to put the coffee in the bag. One that gives you clear outlines and expectations, isn't afraid to tell you, that's not exactly right. And learn how to take that, because nobody does anything exactly right all the time, right? What we need is good work ethic. I've actually expanded to having 2 people help me with the coffee business now, on and off, and they're both great people. One of them's Mama Sauce. The other one's a farmer friend of mine, Michelle. She knows what hard work's about. She comes out here and she'll pop on some tunes, or she'll put up with my choice of tunes. She gets those beans in the bags. She gets those bags in the shipping containers. She sends them out. Hey, okay, guys, let's go home. Come on, Cece. Come on, let's go home. And when I watch her work, I know that's the kind of employee I want to keep. And if I bring a third one in, guess what? I'm going to fire them if they are deadbeats or a drag on the team, because we have a good team. Now, part of why I work with the people I work with is they want a flexible schedule. Michelle's content to come in a day or 2 a week, or not at all. She's not dependent on a regular schedule, and that works for my business right now where we're at. We're not ready to go a bunch of full-time people, and I'm not sure how I feel about having employees all the time. That's just me. But what she is somebody with a good work ethic who understands what's up and is willing to say, yep, this is how I do it, and I'm going to do it that way. And if I say I need you to adjust it a little bit, she's like, okay. There's no tears. There's no gnashing of teeth. She just does her thing. And that's great for me. And if you're a boss, just think about that. Think about being willing to fire. And if you're an employee looking for the right job, find the kind of boss who's clear, who is willing to stand up for the good people by getting rid of the bad people. It is what it is. Thoughts as we go into this last week of production before the big holiday. Make it a great week.